All right, let's dive into one of the most game-changing technologies out there right now, large language models, or as you probably know them, LLMs. We're going to break down what makes them so incredibly revolutionary.
Think about that for a second. A machine that can truly understand the nuances of our language, process unbelievable amounts of text, and then create entirely new content that feels perfectly human. Well, this isn't science fiction anymore. It is the reality of what LLMs are making possible right now. We are absolutely entering a new era of how we interact with information and with technology itself, and it's all being powered by these incredible models. So let's start by getting to their core function.
Okay, so at their very heart, large language models are these extremely sophisticated AI systems. They've been trained to understand and generate text, and they excel at a huge variety of language processing tasks, which is fundamentally changing how we can analyze, create, and use written information.
And this fundamental capability, it builds out into this ridiculously powerful and versatile toolkit. I mean, the applications for this technology are just expanding at a breathtaking pace. The potential feels almost limitless.
For starters, just think about the sheer creative power here. These models can generate high-quality, human-like text for almost any need you can imagine. They're helping writers draft articles, compose poetry, whip up compelling marketing copy, and even write entire scripts.
But beyond just creating new stuff, LLMs are analytical powerhouses. They can take a massive, dense report or a complicated academic paper and just condense it down to the key bullet points, saving countless hours. They can also perform what's called sentiment analysis, reading through thousands of customer reviews to understand the emotion and tone. That's an invaluable asset for any business.
The practical automation is just as impressive. In customer support, LLMs are powering chatbots that handle complex questions in a really natural, conversational way. And for developers, tools like GitHub Copilot can suggest code and complete entire functions, which dramatically speeds up the whole software development process.
And this impact is reshaping major industries across the board. In education, LLMs can act like personalized tutors, adapting to a student's individual learning style. In finance, they're analyzing complex market trends from huge data sets in real time. And in the legal field, they can sift through thousands of documents to find critical information in just a fraction of the time. Okay, but with all of these incredible capabilities, there are some pretty significant challenges and costs that we have to confront. This kind of power is definitely not without its pitfalls. So, let's pull back the curtain for a minute and look at the real, practical, and operational costs that come with building and deploying these massive models. First off, the sheer scale is a major factor. Training these models requires a staggering amount of data and computational power, which makes them incredibly expensive. What's more, while their output seems human, they can generate completely false information. People in the field call these hallucinations, and that can lead to the spread of some pretty dangerous misinformation. And beyond those practical costs, we also have to face the deeper ethical risks. This technology casts a pretty long shadow of potential bias and misuse that requires us to be very, very careful. A major concern here is something called algorithmic bias. Because these models learn from vast amounts of text from the internet, they can inherit and even amplify the social, cultural, and gender biases that are already present in that data. This can result in outputs that are unfair, prejudiced, or genuinely harmful. And in the wrong hands, the potential for misuse is severe. LLMs can be used to generate convincing false news at scale, craft sophisticated phishing emails, create deepfakes for disinformation campaigns, and even help with cyber attacks.
This all brings us to a stark reality. Ensuring this powerful technology is used only for ethical purposes is maybe the single greatest challenge facing researchers, developers, and really society as a whole. This means we have to consciously and carefully navigate our path forward, balancing all of these immense opportunities with our profound responsibilities. It really presents the central conflict. LLMs are a true double-edged sword. On one side, they have this boundless potential to augment our creativity and efficiency. But on the other, they carry very real dangers of bias, misinformation, and malicious use.
Ultimately, the trajectory of this technology won't be defined by its capabilities alone. The future of large language models rests entirely on the choices we make, the ethical frameworks we build, the safeguards we implement, and the applications we prioritize. The key takeaway here is that the responsibility for shaping this future really belongs to all of us.